How are you? Reset Sniper. Yes, it is. Back we are on. So, interesting little website to show you. And it's captured a couple of statements of Mark Carney, Bank of England chief psychopath for the proliferation of currency and the control structure. Let's have a little look at what Carney said, because he spoke recently. And the interesting thing that Silver Doctors, who's you should probably have a look at his website and follow, since he's made some interesting notes and he's brought this to highlight. So all plaudits to him. Interesting little notes and leaks and innuendos. You see, when it comes to these guys, they all know what's coming, and they all seek to establish alibi. At some point, in some manner, they want to have nuance through innuendo, and some, in quite direct manners, have leaked what's happened so that they've established alibi. I've spoken of this before in previous YouTubes. Establishing alibi is the process whereby you know something's come, you've contributed to making it happen, but you go and you go on record as warning of it, something you've created. In fact, when I did the Tbilisi robbery, Stalin, who was the architect of actually murdering and killing, and he was Georgian, by the way, not Russian, a number of people, and was known, had been arrested before and was a known troublemaker. He went, when he was planning the robbery, and actually told the police that he had a sense that there was something brewing in the underworld and that there would probably be a robbery at some point. So that in the event of the robbery occurring, he gave them just enough information so that he said, well, I did warn you. In fact, it was his own robbery and he was warning against his own peers. In the sense, these are the behavior types of people that have a knowledge and are creating the event, thereby distancing themselves from their own creations and the backlash that could come. So let's talk about this and see what was discussed. I'm going to try see if I can minimize this little fella. Have less of Francis and more of the website. Okay, so go check him out. Silver Doctors. He's done a good little article here, and there's a couple of things that he talks, and he drops the key words "New World Order" into the frame. He drops new financial system. Why all this need for newness? If everything's so groovy, green shoots, we're doing well. The guys saved the world. Greenspan, Larry Summers, the men who saved the world. Why do we need anything new? Everything's awesome. And the great change. And then those were just a few little snippets. So let's go into some of the aspects of his speech. And I'll give you my take on the statements. The bank recognized. So here's quotes. These parts with the little bar, specific quotes of Carney. The bank, and he's referring to the Bank of England, the BoE, the Central Bank of the United Kingdom, recognizes that a new economy, a new world, and new demographics demand a new financial system. Actually, they don't. If you've got a really good functioning financial system, the fact that there's technology is in existence, and I don't know what a new world actually means. New demographics, well, that's Soros's open society pumping immigrants into areas that maybe have a very low growth rates, et cetera, and all the manipulation and social engineering. It's kind of like cattle. You need more stud bulls to breed with the cows in that field than this field. And we're being moved around like livestock in all of this game. We don't need a new financial system if it's working absolutely fine. But we do actually need a new financial system because it's quite clearly broken. And that's why. So there's a lack of admission of the damage that has been done and how broken it is. And it's all about, new. It's time for change. He's just, a thought leader, another one of these thought leaders that are bringing on good, fresher smelling roses into the room. While we prepare for a great change. Hang on, what great change? What great change? I personally know I'm expecting the whole thing to fall apart. It never was sustainable, but what's he leaking now? What great change? And we will be guided by one constant, our mission to promote the good of the people we all serve. Well, you've done a fabulous flipping job so far, Mark. You really have, you and your buddies. And I see you socialized all the the cost of all the CDO proliferation and gambling. Go see other YouTubes I've done regarding the conduct following long-term capital into 2008 and how LTCM was almost a drill for 2008. And 2008 is going to be a microcosm drill for what this guy is busy talking about. Yes, chaps, what this guy is busy talking about. I'm going to move this up here because I'm keeping looking down at the bottom of my screen. And people say, look me in the eye, look me in the eye. There's the camera, Francis, talk to the camera. Okay. So what else so let's just carry on going through these little snippets that Silver Doctors has done a great job of bringing to attention. Go to him on silverdoctors.com, by the way. Clearly a precious metal fan. And I hope that precious metals will play a big role in anything in terms of your reset planning. And you should certainly have some. This infrastructure must be overhauled now. Whilst we prepare for great change, this infrastructure must be overhauled. What's he saying? Now it's old. It's just not new anymore. It's old, so it must be changed. No. The financial mathematics of the amount of debt that you guys created is going to lead to what I think will be a debt jubilee and write-off system. And you know who has to take the pain every time when they do these things? It's going to cause suffrage. We're going to have a more equal, more egalitarian society. There's too much inequality. Okay, but you built that equality to give all the money to your friends in the control structure. Now you'll come and say you're the guys who are going to cure that which you built. It's kind of like me building an abattoir to kill animals and pleading for a vegetarian society, that I'm the guy to do that. You built the system. They're going to come to you and say, we want a more equal system. We want everyone to have a fair crack. We need to punish the wealthy, all of this, and then income, the taxes. And it's actually the middle classes, the functioning working middle that gets squeezed, and the supreme elite are all part of the corporatocracy. So it's going to be the pain. When he talks about change, it's the pain that's really coming for you. They stop short of being honest about the pain, because who loses their pensions when all these debts get written off? Who's got pensions stuffed with government bonds that fund managers have bought on your behalf? Who's going to pay for you when you're old? When they do their reset and their debts, their bonfire of debt, this is what's coming. Infrastructure must be overhauled now that the economy is on a fourth industrial revolution. No, we're not. It's not an industrial revolution. You could argue there's a lot of technology and there's AI and things. Maybe there's a technological one. It's not an industrial revolution. We globalized long ago. We have been buying from China from long ago. That is globalization. Industrial revolution, what nonsense. Rebalancing of the global order is proving as dramatic as it was in Montague Norman's time. What he's actually saying is that it's quite a fatal statement for the dollar, I would argue, because the only way for the dollar in terms of its imperiousness and global world currency is gone. That's what he means by that. And that's probably good for the likes of China and some of the third emerging world and Russia. Such profound changes demand a new finance. New finance? What's fine? Paying people, fair exchange. What needs to be new about that if something ain't broken? These guys are coming up with it, and he's seeding clues as to what's coming. We now have a balance sheet fit for a new world order. That's a convenient little phrase that all you little control structure bastards, and it's not new. It's been called that for decades and decades and decades. It's never new. It's your Ashkenazi, Khazarian, conspiratorial agenda that you are driving. That is your little dog whistle phrase that you always smack out every time, with this notion that it's something new and it's going to be better for everybody else. No one is fooled that new is better for us anymore, you psychopaths. In a wider range of reserve currency. So what he's actually saying here now is that there's going to be, and this I've warned, the SDR is the way that they're going. Now, I've done this before. It's kind of like the EU is a superstructure government that transcends national governments. In the same way, the SDR is now going to be this basket of currencies. This is the way I believe they've been taking to us, and I've said it before. And now you're hearing Carney say a wider range of reserve currencies. Who knows? It might even involve cryptos as well, but he's probably just referring to Chinese yuan, all of this. So the amazing thing about this is, they're going to do like they did with CDOs. You take bad high yield debt, and then you put them in portfolios and you rank them in between the absolutely toxic's going to go bust the first renewal dates the minute the discount rate falls away, to the guys looking for a job and may find one, but probably not, and is leveraged to the hilt, but is also pretty darn crap. And you slice and dice, and then you create a portfolio and you get a collateralized debt obligation. And because you put lots in, it's diversified all the risk away magically. It's kind of like me, as I've said many times before, getting a bunch of fertilizer and shit and actually dividing it up and parceling it up and saying it's no longer shit anymore because I've sliced, diced, added, organized, and sold off bits. I'm afraid it's still shit. If you put shit in, you still get shit out. Anyway, so they're going to do this, and they're going to create the SDR, which is going to be a portfolio of shit currencies. So basically, if they don't do a complete bonfire of the debt, they're just going to roll the debt and create this Uber currency, which will have all of them, and you can trade in individual ones, or you can trade in a Woku or SDR type currency. Initially, it's only going to go to the corporates and to the governments. They're going to get the first benefit. It'll take ages before you will be able to get that, and then it'll be given to you like it's a gift. Meanwhile, it's all that same old crap debt in each of those global currencies, parceled all together, sliced and diced, and repurposed with a new name, and you're being sold the same shit parcel you were sold the first time. And that is one of the things that I think is coming down the road towards us. Okay, so what else? The UK is at the forefront. No, we're not. To create a global financial system that is safer, simpler, and fairer. Oh, fairer. The inequality, that just means more taxation and more extraction. In the name of getting more equality, they decide on who happens to be wealthy and just tax them. And it happens to be wealthy if you're middle income. That's what you'll be. And you're going to be told it's time to take the pain for the greater good of all society. You are fortunate one. Yeah. And everyone will fall in that. But Tony Blair's tax rate, it's not changing. You can be sure of that. Anyway, so the implementation is now being regularly assessed and transparently reported by the FSB and the IMF. So this is also highlighting these transnational organizations' role. So money is being worldwide managed now. It's not in the hands of the BoE solely. They're reporting in to their masters, the International Monetary Fund, people you never voted for, you have no idea or control of putting in, and they are going to be determining what happens. And you can lump it, because the most you'll get is to vote for who your little local nodding MP is, and he has no clout anymore in Britain because the laws are written in the EU, and they're trying to stall and kill Brexit all they can, and they'll probably succeed. And further on, your Bank of England is reporting to its masters in the IMF, run by the fraudulent Lagarde, and all the other cronies that have also done funny little numerical riddles explaining about which years are weird years and all sorts of other cryptic little clues about what's coming. So now's the time, says Carney, to reap the benefits of these enormous efforts. Platforms are being created for deference to each other's approaches when they achieve similar outcomes. With the 3 pillars in place, 3 pillars, oh, it's very Masonic that. An open, resilient global financial system is possible. So these guys and the BoE have been doing all this behind the scenes, immense work on the benefit of us, and have created a platform. So we're just waiting for the perfect crisis, and these guys are going to roll out the spanking new shiny car that they've been building behind the shed that you're going to be told is going to be driving you about in, and you're going to have to jump on board, otherwise lump it. And they've been doing all this work. Having put in place the pillars of responsible, open financial system, we don't think so, Mark. It's not been open. It's been very good for some and very bad for others. We are ready for a deeper global financial partnerships with the emerging economies. So what's also doing is this is pulling together the transnational. So nationalism is a racist thing, to want to be self-determining your own future in your particular country, live and choose how you want to live. That's seen as a negative thing now, and everything is transnational. In other words, it's worldwide and integrated and cross-wired, and they're going to lean on each other's sicks. You take a lot of sick men leaning on each other. You need more sick men to lean on because you're so tired, and they're bringing in the emerging economies. And there's no easy moonshine in bringing in emerging economies. They have more challenges in some ways than the mature ones, although some of them haven't got as much debt. So the financial implication of these developments are only beginning to be realized. So he's here warning us. The bank is already creating the new hard and soft infrastructure that the finance will require. This is clear sign that they are prepping. They are prepping, and they're telling you that they're already pre-prepping for something that will be coming and will be changing. So if this isn't a case of a forewarning, the bank is also ensuring our rules and regulations or soft infrastructure are fit for the new finance. So they're already writing the rules, which will probably include bail-ins for the rich, aka you, because you don't live in a cardboard box, and the middle class, to be bounced into paying and bailing out your poor banks. And they've extended those rules in Canada, in the UK, and in many other ways. Here's the question. What kind of talk do you ever hear coming from the US Fed or the US Treasury Department, says the silver doctors guy? Is there ever anything about a new global financial system? So what he's actually saying here, because this is probably for a US audience, is that you now got a British who's a big ally, special relationship, otherwise, aka we do all the spying on Americans through GCHQ to get around laws there, and they do all the spying on us to get around any awkward laws here. You've now got one of the partners actually talking about a post-American dominance in a financial system. So for the US guys, this is like, wow, you know, one of our best buds is talking about having other mates, and not just, you know, how we are the cool kids and running the show. And that's pretty much what you're getting here. So quite a few little phrases. I'm going to put this link in here. You can have a little look. And of course, the full speech is also available. But lots of talk about pre-planning that they're already doing and have done, and this new change that is coming. So this is an admittance to a full-blown reset. All that's missing is the final crisis to trigger it all in. Problem, reaction, solution. Smash them with the problem, dip them so down that any form of solution, once they've got taken to the brink, aka like the 2008 and 09 lows of pessimism, negativity, that any solution that just takes you a bit out of there will be accepted. Get the reaction of, oh my God, we're being done again. This is what's coming for us. The financial crises are thick, fast, and this one is going to be deep, deep-seated. So you've got to think, how am I prepped? How am I prepped right now for all the fun and games they're going to do when all the banks in the room, including potentially globally, start jumping? How arbitraged are you across banks? How are you set on the precious metal funds? Will cryptos get a pop? Are you in a position to get quickly into them if they get some sort of safe haven status when they're done selling off? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Only you know. We're part of a community. We're focused on the great reset that's coming, and we're traders, and we teach a method about how to build money, make your money work for you by trading in the cryptos. You want to find out more? You come to our webinar on playing great defense. It's not what you make, it's what you keep, on July the 3rd, 1900 British Summer Time. We'll see you then. It'll be live, aka with me. Enjoy this. Go check go check the links out and tell me what you think in the comments about what game are these guys up to, and what are these little clues and snippets of statements. Why a new system? Why is he needing a new system? What, I thought they fixed the old one. I'd love to know your take on all of that. With that, I love you and leave you. Enjoy your Sunday.